This is your home for the Trojans. Girard Sports Live.
Snap and leans forward, and that's touchdown number 4 for Scott Moore.
Girard Sports Live is presented by Colgan, your community technology partner. Learn more at ckt.net.
Looks, throw over to Adolph, quickly down inside, wrap around Boatman, found herself in the right place, foul, and the bucket!
He'll try a 3 and hits. Adolph with it up top, being guarded by Gass. Girard down the lane, off the glass, and good. Nice instinct by Adolph to just take it to the bucket.
Fielded on the short hop, fires this one across. Able to throw the runner out by a step and a half.
Pitch to the outside to Ashbacher. Gets a good block on the outside, and he's in for the touchdown.
It's time for the Trojans. On your home for Girard High School Athletics. Girard Sports Live. Girard Sports Live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Girard Sports Live. Welcome back. It's been a long week since pretty much we've been on Girard Sports Live, of course, with school being out, snow falling on the ground, and it being pretty cold outside. A couple cancellations later, and we're back here on the network. I'm Drake Miller, joined by Caleb Humboldt. Today, this broadcast is brought to you by Colgan, your community technology partner. Don't get bit by slow speeds and high prices. Get gigabit, the fastest internet in Southeast Kansas with Colgan. To learn more, go to ruralfiber.org or see everything Colgan has to offer at ckt.net. And we will go ahead and roll into the pregame show, which is brought to you by Community National Bank and Trust. Serving the area for over 30 years, stop in soon to pick up your very own Girard Trojan Instant Issue Mascot Debit Card. Community National Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Girard Schools. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Learn more online at mybankcnb.com. Caleb, like I said, it's been a bit of a long week for these ladies, of course, with the snow and the cancellation of the Fort Scott game. But we're rolling into more tough competition here, and it has just been a really rocky road for both of the girls and the boys team right now. Can you kind of give us a roll down of what's been going on and what you expect to see here tonight?
Yeah, so kind of like how you said, it's been a little shaky since we've come back from break with the girls team going 4-3, and that's just due to that tough schedule in the Burlington tournament. But this game, I mean, how you were saying, it's another tough opponent, but this Colgan team, the big thing that you're going to need to do to beat them is just your own scoring ability. And this girls team is capable of scoring, and just you got to make sure that you're the person that gets it going. And so far this year, that's something that has kind of been hard to find, or kind of been slow to get the ball rolling is the biggest thing. And so I think the girls, if they're able to score whenever they're getting good opportunities, and then just rebounding like we say every week of just you can't let the other team have 2 or 3 extra opportunities like this team has let other teams do in the past. You just can't have that happen and expect to win or expect to have another one of those blowout wins that you really had at the start of the season. And so that's the big thing of just trying to get back to that of if you can start blowing out teams again, even if the opponents are a little bit just less difficult, I think the big thing is just getting some of that confidence back.
Yeah, we talked in pregame about what this team is going to need to do and what we expect out of this contest tonight. And what I said, and I think you kind of agreed with me on it, was the fact that I said this is going to be a great game, but Girard's going to have to put some points on the board, and that has been kind of the struggle as of the last few weeks, is just getting to the buckets and getting the ball through the hoop. It has been some pretty good shot selection, not bad looks. You get it to your top scorers, you're creating top scorers on the court, but it's just a matter of getting the ball through the hoop. And I know that sounds so kind of almost dumb for me to say, but it's been just kind of a lid right now. And it's great to see Carson O'Ran back on the floor. As we know, she did not play in that final Burlington game after the injury in the second one. and of course falling short in that second one as well were the Trojans. But if they can get scoring, I see no reason why Girard should fall short tonight. They're going to be facing a high-scoring team in the Colgan Panthers. This team is not any stranger to putting up big numbers, especially I know the eyes are on one primary player on this floor, and that's Jacayla Davis, and whether or not she's going to be able to put up that big number that she always seems to be able to in contests like this that really pull them out ahead. So just keeping your eyes on that, making sure that Girard is capitalizing on the opportunities that they're given. Been pretty effective at the free throw line. I like to see that. I want to see more of that because both of these teams have very, very similar play styles, and once they get going, it's hard to slow them down.
And I like how you said that the top scorer for this Colgan Panthers team is Jacayla Davis, and that's just kind of the name that you've heard every single year whenever the girls are getting ready to play Colgan, is just that you need to find a way to stop her. And one of the biggest things that I think will help this Girard team is the fact that Carson Orand is back this game. And she is the biggest thing with her defense, especially because her position matches up with Jacayla Davis. So I believe it'll be interesting to see who Coach Herlocker will have guarding her most of this game, and seeing if Carson will be able to get back to kind of how she's always been, of just poking the ball away. And you almost want to say just being a nuisance whenever you're guarding the other opponents, of just always poking the ball, always trying to get a steal. And we've seen it before that the opponents, they can get frustrated with it just because you can never seem to keep a handle on the ball, and that's going to be the biggest thing with Carson Orand coming back to this game.
Yeah, and if I was Coach Herlocker, I'd like that matchup with Orand against Davis. Of course, it's not going to be easy for either of these ladies out on the floor. Davis is going to have her hands full with Carson, and then, of course, Carson's going to have her hands full with Jacayla, and that's just going to be the way that this game goes. But you're going to apply a lot of pressure, and it's going to force the ball kind of out of her hands in some situations. But like I said, this Colgan team, it's not a one-man team as much as we're kind of painting it to be. This team is not a stranger to scoring. They're going to be able to put up points even if you stop Jacayla Davis, but so is Girard. Girard has been great this season at being able to spread the ball out, find new scorers in different games, and find it when it's most essential. You know, Maddie Kester taking the matters into her own hands against opponents at the Burlington tournament. Boatman's had her fair share of high-scoring games. Even Augie Mooneyham has stepped up in big moments and been able to really put numbers on the board so that this team can accelerate past some of those tougher opponents. And tonight, I feel like that's what it's going to take down Colgan. But we'll go ahead and send it to one quick break here on Girard Sports Live, and we'll be right back with the rest of the pregame and then the opening tip-off. Don't go anywhere.
Here at Pittsburgh Interiors, we are proud to be family owned and operated, serving our community with quality style and service since 1999. Step into our showroom and explore furniture, flooring, window treatments, mattresses, and more. Whether you're designing a dream home, office, or simply just adding that finishing touch, our expert team is here to help. Discover why families and businesses have trusted us for over 25 years. Pittsburgh Interiors, where style meets comfort and family comes first.
At Girard Medical Center, our physical and occupational therapy department is dedicated to helping you bounce back stronger. Whether you're recovering from an injury, surgery, or just want to move better every day. From student athletes to seniors, we provide personalized care and expert support right here at home. To learn more about our therapy department and our other services, visit GirardMedicalCenter.com, a proud supporter of the Girard Trojans and your hometown team for health and healing. Rooted in rural, focused on you.
You've enjoyed life. Over the years, your community has become your passion, something you hope future generations get to experience, just as you have. That's why the Girard Area Community Foundation has worked hard to help fulfill charitable goals and inspire generosity, meeting the needs of the communities they serve. Creating a legacy fund with GACF ensures what you leave behind is an effective and lasting improvement in the community you love so dearly. Make plans to visit GirardAreaFoundation.com, preserving traditions for those who follow.
There's a lot of choices when you think about buying crop insurance. One thing that's important to us is the roots and loyalty of where you come from and knowing who you can trust. And with all the obstacles that farmers are dealing with on a constant basis, we're there and we're living those struggles and we understand them. and we got to put bushels in the bin to provide for each family. And when that doesn't happen, it's good to know you have a good crop insurance agent to cover you when the hard times happen.
Whether you're trying to make the most of the next harvest, navigating a changing business landscape, or planning for the next chapter in your life, the professionals at Prime Accounting Solutions are here to help. With 10 locations, Prime Accounting offers convenient, friendly accounting and tax services at a fair price. Payroll, bookkeeping, business planning, personal tax filing, and more. And now Prime is the place to go for insurance. Trojan fans can find us at 408B North Grand in Pittsburgh or call 620-232-7305. To find a location near you, go to primeaccounting.net.
And we're back on Girard Sports Live for the pregame show and then the opening tip-off. We talked about the keys to the game, Caleb, in the previous one, but do you have some area matchups for us here tonight across the CNC?
Yeah, looking at the CNC, it looks like a night filled of matchups with just CNC opponents, with our first one being Baxter going up against Riverton. Columbus is going up against Frontenac. Our only non-CNC matchup is Galena is going up against Commerce. And finally, that last matchup is your Girard Trojans going up against the Colgan Panthers.
Should be a night of action across the CNC, and one to really keep your eye on because that's going to have some implications going forward. But as we look across those area matchups, those are brought to you by Diskins Auto and Towing, 120 East Forest Avenue in downtown Girard. Diskins offers 24-hour towing and can repair all makes and models. To learn more, contact Diskins Auto and Towing at 620-724-8100. And as we roll into some of these starting lineups, they are brought to you by Jagged Edge. Trojans will start this game in style, but nowhere near the level of style you'll find at the Jagged Edge. Stylist Carla Sands will have you looking your best for your next big game. Make an appointment soon by calling 620-724-7500. Now, we'll go ahead and start it off with these Colgan starters, and we'll give you the Girard ones here, Caleb. But starting off with Colgan, you've got the junior number 21, Danny Yagmore, the senior number 23, Jakayla Davis, the junior number 24, Caitlin Scheifelbein, the junior number 32, Bella Escanio, and the senior number 33, Janessa Davis. And then Caleb, for Girard, it's looking like the typical five.
Yep, and with Carson being back, the starting lineup will be the same five, with starting out with number 10, a 5'9 junior, Marley Sisney, number 12, a 5'9 junior, Kennedy Keller, number 14, a 5'10 senior, Maddie Kester, number 22, a 5'6 junior, Carson Oran, and rounding it out is number 23, a 5'10 senior, Erica Boatman.
Well, we'll go ahead and step aside for a moment as we get set for the national anthem, and we will be right back after that for the opening tip-off. as we get set for the opening tip-off, it is brought to you by Farmers Bank. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. And as we get set for this, any last comments before we get started here, Caleb?
I mean, the last thing that I have to mention is just that last season, these two teams, whenever they matched up against each other, they both won both their games one apiece. Surprisingly enough, the Girard Trojans won here at Colgan's home stadium, and Colgan had one back at our own home stadium. So it'll be interesting to see who will take this first game and really who's going to kind of lead this series with one more game later in the year.
Yeah, two very exciting contests last season as well, I might mention. It has just been a very, very exciting rivalry, as we did say starters a little bit different than what we've got here. We said Caitlin Schiffelbein was going to be in that starting lineup, but tonight, Mariella Gilmore is in the starting lineup. That was number 2 for the Colgan Panthers. So keeping an eye on her, as she will be taking that spot from Schiffelbein for tonight. And I don't know about that for the foreseeable future, but that's the starting 5 for both of those teams. And man, I've been looking forward to this contest for a couple of weeks now because I knew the implications behind it. There's a bit of a rivalry with both of these teams being so successful and so competitive across the last couple of years that you can just kind of feel the energy. Girard fans showing out. I'm sure more are due to show up as well as the game goes on, and then of course for the boys game as well. This is just an exciting night, Caleb.
I mean, from a student side of it, you always want to beat Colgan. This is going to Girard. Colgan's one of the teams that you always want to beat, them and Frontenac. So the excitement was definitely there today at school, and you can feel the excitement now. This is one of the biggest matchups.
The tip as Kester wins it. We get started here on Girard Sports Live. The girls' game underway as Kester dribbles around the perimeter, hands off to Sisney, and Sisney's pass taken away by Janessa Davis, but as she rolls, it'll be a travel called near the top of the key. So Sisney back on the inbound. As there's a quick turnover and then another one right back to the Trojans. Oran feeling the pressure from Jakayla Davis. This one's taken away by Gilmore. Gilmore down the floor. Kicks out to Yagmore, who has a wide open lane. Takes her 2, can't go off the back iron. It's a scramble on the floor, jump ball between Boatman and Yagmore. And already some high intensity between these two teams. Only one shot has gone up so far. Got a bit of a discussion at the scores table just to make sure everything's correct. Colgan retains possession here. Yagmore on the inbound, tries to go over the head and gets it to Jakayla Davis.
And that's one of the things we had talked about, was who's going to be the one guarding her, and it looks like Kennedy Keller is the one matching up against Davis on the defensive side of things.
The 3 doesn't go, but Colgan retains possession. Whoa, excuse me. Janessa Davis drives, kicks over, Escanio to Yagmore, out for another 3, and the adjustment's not quite made, but yet another rebound. Here's try number 3. That one's short. Escanio's put back, won't go. 4 shots, and the Panthers leave empty-handed.
And that's what we had talked about, is if you're the Trojans, you don't want to let another possession like that really happen, or multiple possessions like that where you're just letting them have more than one opportunity at the basket.
Orand drives in, kicks out, Boatman, pump fake, and now she will drive, but will get called for a travel before. I gotta say, Erlacher disagrees, but I thought there was a bit of a shuffle there right as she reached the base.
I hate to say it, but I agree with you.
They fling it over to Yagmore. Yagmore working on the perimeter. She's guarded closely by O'Rand. They work it to the elbow as Scagno over to Janessa Davis, who loses the ball. Kicks it out to her sister, Jakayla. And now Janessa in the bottom right 90. Off of the hands of Yagmore on the rebound, and it's headed back to the Trojans. Still no points on the board. As the full court press comes out from the Panthers, Keller gets her first touch. And now we'll dish it underneath to Rand. It's tipped by Escanio out of bounds. Girard will keep possession here on their side of the floor. And Rand on the inbound. She kicks it to Sisney. Sisney is pickpocketed, but there will be a foul called. That goes against Janessa Davis. So now here comes another inbound. Keller on the outside. They swing it over. Kester for three, trying to open this thing up and can't go. Janessa Davis checks up just a bit early. So now Jakayla with it on the far side near the Panther logo. She kicks out. Yagmore over to Janessa. And now here's Gilmore trying to feed Escanio down low. Out to Yagmore for three. Can't go again. Janessa Davis with the rebound off of the feet of Jakayla. Jakayla trying to work inside on Oran, and she'll be fouled. Oran tried to get her hand in there and bat that ball away, and just, I think there was just a bit of a slap there on the hand that caused that foul to be called. It'll be the first for Girard.
Looks like she will be the first one to score tonight.
And it comes from the foul stripe at that. Still no buckets on the floor for either of these teams. And Davis goes 2 for 2 on that visit, and that's to be expected. Sisney works it to Kester at the post. Kester trying to work against Escanio, and she can't get it to go.
One of the more secondary things that we talk about, it seems like every week, but Drake, I don't know about you, but the shoe selection for the Colgan Panthers is pretty good.
Lots of pink out there on the floor. After that Jakayla 2, which will be the first bucket on the floor made. Sisney's got a fast break. The layup is good to go. So cuts that deficit in half with 4:30 to go. We're almost halfway into this first quarter, and both of these teams really just kind of drawing a blank on offense.
And this is kind of how I felt like there would be two ways that this game would go, is that both teams were just scoring nonstop, or both teams would not really be able to find the bucket, and that's how this game has gone, of just they're both focusing on defense, knowing how well these match up with both teams having such a great offense.
Jakayla Davis back down the floor. Over to Yagmore. Yagmore trying to get it back to Jakayla, and she does. Hand off to Gilmore. Gilmore back out. Davis, Gilmore staying on the outside from deep. Won't go. It's rebounded by O'Rand. Kester now takes it across mid-court over to Keller, and now O'Rand will set up the offense. Boatman drives out to Kester for three. Can't go. Rebound to Escanio. and she has been a monster on the boards so far here in this first. It has just cut a lot of these offensive possessions short from Girard.
And that's the thing, is that so far, once the girls get a shot up, they are only able to get one chance at the bucket. And so you would like to see just any type of rebounding underneath the rim, and I think a lot of that will come from Erica Boatman.
Davis gets another 2 on the board, and Oran draws a foul. Against Jacayla Davis. That'll be Davis's first, team second, with a 6-2 score with just under 3 to go.
It's like 2 substitutions with Maddie Kester and Marley Sisney sitting, while both Briley Black and Augie Mooneyham will check into the game.
Black from 16 feet, can't get it to go, hard off the glass. Gilmore now down the floor as Schiffelbein has subbed in for the Panthers, and the pass inside to her is off the mark. Oran down the floor to Boatman from the elbow, and that just dances around the rim, and now we've got a jump ball. Oran gets it inbound to Boatman, who dribbles around and then delivers, but it's off the mark. Colgan takes over. Jacayla Davis down the floor. Davis drives down the right side, kicks out. Davis to Davis. Jacayla for the triple and gets it to fall. Bumps that score up 9-2. And Girard has got to find a little bit of an opening here on offense. Once again, some good looks, just haven't been able to get him to fall. Keller for 3, can't get it. Schiffelbein with the rebound. Now Jacayla will slow things down as we dip under 90. Janessa scanning, delivers a pass to Jacayla. Now slowing things down as they deliver to Schiffelbein. Escanio fouled and one.
Looks like 2 of those starters will come back in, with both Kester and Sisney coming in, and I believe Orand and Boatman will take a seat.
Boatman and Orand going to take it easy on the bench as Colgan relays off the and one, can't get the extra bucket to go.
I think for this possession, the Trojans just need, I mean, as I'm saying it, the big thing is just not getting any easy turnovers for Colgan and just being able to hold on to the ball and make sure that you have possession, at least a chance at an offensive possession.
Yeah, it just seems like once again that shooting percentage is kind of the curse. Here tonight, as we enter our first timeouts, we'll go ahead and talk about our timeout sponsor of tonight, and that is Live Well Crawford County. This break in the action is brought to you by the Southeast Kansas Player Health Alliance and Live Well Crawford County, reminding you to know your limits when gambling and know when the game is playing you. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-426-2537 for free assistance. Score sits 11-2. Colgan has, Girard has the ball on the Colgan side. And Girard is just looking for a breakthrough here on offense as they are in dire need of one.
And the thing we've seen with this girls team before is just once you get the scoring going, that's whenever buckets start to fall. And whenever you're able to really get an offensive drive put together, that's whenever you can stack them on top of each other and try to get the score back in range of hopefully being on top.
Schiffelbein throws a bow down at the post. Gets called for it there, and I misspoke earlier. I said it was Girard ball. It's actually Colgan. It was Colgan ball. Now Girard ball on the Colgan side. As I'm sure this team is hungry like the wolf looking for points. 11-2. Mooneyham over to Black, and it slips right through her fingers.
I mean, just the thing that's killing them on offense is just the turnovers, and it's not really the Panthers that are causing these turnovers. It's self-inflicted, and that's just the biggest thing that is causing this Girard team to have just such an offensive drought so far in this first quarter.
Davis to Schiffelbein. 4 seconds separate shot and game clock. Janessa kicks out. Jacayla now around the loop. Gives it off. Janessa to Jacayla for the mid-range two. And it falls clean. And we've got a whistle blown. What is this one gonna be? Looks like a foul called against Yagmore. That'll be the 4th from Colgan with 7.2 seconds, and now we've got a timeout, I believe. No, excuse me. Jacayla's gonna step off the floor real quick for Gilmore, who comes in. Mooneyham gets it with 7 seconds. Gonna have to move quickly. Over to Keller, who throws one up and off the front of the rim. Can't get it to go. 1 bucket will be all that Girard manages to get here in the first. As we head into the second quarter, 13-2 is the score. We'll be right back after this quick break on Girard Sports Live.
Farmers Bank is a proud supporter of Girard schools. For generations, Farmers Bank has worked with local leaders, businesses, and residents to help shape the future of Southeast Kansas. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. As partners in business and friends in life, Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank, with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Hounds Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
And we're back on the second quarter of action. 11 points, is the separation as it stands. Davis rejoins the floor as starters take the court for Colgan and knocks down the triple early. That one's kind of a statement 3 from the points.
Yeah, that was a quick 3 and just another turnover.
Another turnover goes to the Panthers. Escanio gets the dish down low, can't get it to fall. And now Boatman is slow to get up. And Coach Erlocker and the trainer gonna go out there and check it out real quick. We'll take a short break here on Girard Sports Live, and we'll be right back after this.
Every day, people are discovering that bigger isn't better, better is better. Big box stores continue to disappoint. You have spoken, and we have been listening. You want a great selection with dependable service at a competitive price. We understand, and that's what we bring to you every day. We know that we have to work hard to earn your business, and we will. Bigger isn't better, better is.
And we're back on Girard Sports Live. Boatman is escorted to the locker room, as we will try to keep you updated on that. She was walking with a little bit of a limp, but hopefully all is well with her. Orand takes it down the floor for Girard. Mooneyham in the game now, as Orand tries to dribble around the perimeter. Mooneyham for three from the 90, and that one is off the hands of Yagmore and out of bounds. Sticks with Girard. Keller on the inbound. Excuse me. They'll go with Orand.
I think the biggest thing that with the injury to Erica Boatman is now you're missing a little bit of size on the court, especially with rebounding, and that's one of the things that this team was already struggling with.
Mooneyham inside to Kester. Kester the handoff and shot clock. I didn't even notice it, but time had fallen, and with that, Mooneyham didn't hit the rim on her initial shots. That definitely cut it a lot shorter than you would have liked it to after the inbound. Yagmore gets it near the Panther logo. Jakayla Davis drives, puts up a two, can't fall, and it's rebounded by Keller. 6:30 to go here in the first half. Orand kicks it to Sisney for three. Can't go, and it's rebounded by Yagmore. Over to Jakayla Davis. Davis, hand off to Gilmore. Gilmore back to Davis for three. Can't go, it's short. And now we've got a foul called on the floor. And that will go against Jakayla Davis, her second. Definitely an important number to keep an eye on. As she is their leading scorer and one of only two so far tonight.
And that's the biggest thing, that if it almost seems like if she comes out of the game, Colgan's scoring is almost just as absent as Girard so far.
That certainly is. Escanio's the only other player with two right now, as Orand takes it up to the point. Trezona scanning, back out. Orand with 6 on the shot clock, drives, puts one up. It can't go. It's off the hands of Escanio and out of bounds. So a reset there, as that one did grab rim. And now Orand will be on the inbound. Delivers. Trezona, her shot can't go, and it's rebounded by Yagmore. Breaking down the floor as Yagmore gives it to Gilmore. A quick trigger, can't go off the back iron. And now a collision between Yagmore and Kester as they both bounce back to their feet. New face on the floor for Colgan. We'll get to that in a minute as Scagno puts up a shot and gets the putback to fall. That new face is Kara Osborne, number 12, taking defense on Orand there, and now loose ball out of bounds.
And I mean, so far for the Trojans, this team has not scored since about the 3rd minute into the first quarter, so definitely one of the biggest scoring droughts so far this season, and just not really able to find anything on the offensive side of things.
Osborne gets it poked away, but Orand called for the foul in the process. And now Mooneyham will check in for Orand. Janessa Davis now subs in for Danny Yagmore. And the inbound gets to Janessa, who drives to the post, kick out. Osborne for triple. It dances, and can't fall. Rebound goes into the hands of Colgan, but they give it up to the Trojans. Kester. Inside, Trezona to the elbow. Keller now checks up, tries for two, can't go, and we've got a foul called. We'll see who this goes against, and that will be Janessa Davis. The inbound from Keller makes its way. Sisney at the point. Trezona now takes a power dribble, long two, can't go, hard off the glass. Back the other way with the Panthers. And a foul called and one, wow. I didn't think there was any way that shot was going in.
That was impressive, but I mean, like we said, without Jacayla Davis in this game, the score would be 2-2.
Still has been silent outside of her, essentially. I mean, from both sides of the floor. She gets the extra. Tacks on the lead, bumped up to 19 now here in the second. They fling it over, Mooneyham to Sisney. Sisney trying to find an opening. Now directing traffic from the top of the key. Black looking to drive. It's a loose ball and a jump ball after the fact will stick with the Trojans. Keller to Mooneyham. Back to Keller. And now she sets up the offense. 4 seconds to go. Sisney has to just throw one up. That one's clanged off the rim. And now back to the Panthers. Davis to Davis. Janessa for three. Can't get it to fall. And it's rebounded by Black. I gotta say, the defense out of the Trojans has been rather good tonight.
And that's the thing, is with both these teams being such high-scoring teams, especially with the Colgan Panthers, is that you've held them to 23 points now. And so, I mean, being able to hold the team like this to only 23 points really throughout this first half is great defense, but there's just nothing on the offensive side of things to match it.
Timeout called on the floor by Girard. We'll take a second to acknowledge our other timeout sponsor, Salon 214. Now open at 107 North Ozark in Girard. Take a timeout to pamper yourself with Vanessa and her team at Salon 214. And take a timeout to check out Salon 214 on Facebook. Here in the second quarter, just under 3 to go, and it's a 21-point lead for Colgan. Not a good situation for Girard, especially seeing the shooting percentages right now.
So far, I mean, it's either Girard hasn't been able to really get an opportunity to shoot the ball, and even whenever they are, it's just the shot clock seems like it's winding down pretty quick every single time, and so it's just difficult to really find anything on the offensive side of things for the Girard Trojans tonight.
They have certainly had trouble getting the baskets to fall. And that was something that I said in the pregame too, is just having good looks, developing the offense well, and as well as holding other teams on defense, just not being able to get the ball through the basket. Sisney down the floor. Works it. Oh, I was gonna say works it over to Mooneyham, but she faked me out. Now back to Sisney. Mooneyham now looking to carve up into the paint. Has to scan, and her pass off the mark goes back to Colgan.
And we've talked about the turnovers on the offensive side of things, and truly Colgan is playing a good game of defense so far, and it's just been effective to limit the scoring.
This ball poked away, but recovered by Osborne. Osborne hands it off. Janessa Davis. Over to Jakayla. Dribbles around, gives it off to Osborne again. Inside of 10 on the shot clock. Has to deliver a pass out to Yagmore. Janessa Davis to Osborne. 3, 2, and that will be shot clock violation called against the Panthers. So with that, a couple of substitutions. Gilmore comes in for Osborne. O'Rand comes in for Mooneyham. Having to play almost a 5-high offense right now, just trying to see if they can work it underneath. And Keller finally breaks the drought. Gets another 2 on the board. Janessa Davis for 3, can't go, and it's rebounded by Sisney. O'Rand with just under 90 to go here in the half. Works it, Kester, her pass back out to O'Rand. Now scanning to Keller. Keller's losing control and then throws it off of a Panther knee and out of bounds.
And so far, there's about a minute left in this first half. The girls being down by about 19, so I think the biggest thing is just trying to cut any scoring you can. Just to give yourself a fighting chance and see if you can come out as a brand new team in that second half.
Yeah, I would say even if you pick up 8 more points here, that makes it a 15-point game. That seems very doable there within the half. Kester's shot. No dice. Yagmore gets it into Gilmore. Gilmore to Davis. Davis inside Ascanio. Her shot blocked by Kester, and it's out of bounds. Last touched by Gilmore of the Panthers. So back to Girard as we check Osborne in for Janessa Davis. They give it O'Rand for the triple. Can't go. Rebound, bobbled around. Keller's put back. Can't go either. And now the Panthers on a fast break. Osborne to Gilmore. Gilmore now over to Osborne. Collision there on the near side wing. 3-point shot goes up, comes back down. Davis puts it back in for 2. 5 seconds to go. O'Rand takes the half quarter, and it doesn't make it there. 25-4 is the score. There's a 21-point lead at half. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
Since 1918, GN Bank has been the heart of our community. Big enough to meet all your banking needs, but small enough to offer that personal touch you deserve. From agricultural loans to home mortgages, GN Bank has the expertise, products, and service to help you thrive. With a pledge to treat others ethically, be adaptable, focus on customers, and invest in the communities they serve, GN Bank is committed to your success. The best place to bank and borrow, GN Bank, where community banking truly comes first. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Welcome to Homestead of Girard, assisted and independent living right here in our hometown. At Homestead, seniors enjoy compassionate care in a community designed for comfort. Licensed professionals provide support with daily activities, dressing, bathing, and medication management. Residents enjoy home-cooked meals and the comfort of their own private apartment. Call 620-724-6760 to schedule your tour today. Homestead of Girard, senior living with compassion, comfort, and community.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
More than just your neighborhood pharmacy, Mathis Drug is your hometown partner in health. With pharmacist Bria Scheibe and an experienced, highly trained staff, Mathis Drug is ready to serve you. And now, Mathis Drug offers comprehensive compounding, which is one of the few pharmacies in Southeast Kansas with this convenient on-site service. From medications to expert advice, call 620-261-9779. Mathis Drug Store, where community and care come together.
I was hoping to talk to someone about updating my insurance policy.
I am able to understand complete sentences.
That was a complete sentence?
I didn't understand that.
Or can I just talk to a person?
No one talks to humans anymore.
Sometimes humans are just more helpful.
I hear you. Why don't we review your coverage with a super check?
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Call Judd, Lori, Jenny, or Amber in Girard today.
Call's service is outstanding in their field, especially for those that are stuck, outstanding in their field. Call's carries a wide selection of farm, industrial, and heavy-duty tires, all from the best brands in the business. And they've got farm service trucks ready to go. Plus, Call's continues to be the place folks go for car and truck tires, repairs, oil changes, and so much more. If you're in the market for new tires in Southeast Kansas, make the right call to Call's Service, 620-724-4121. See more at callservicellc.com.
And we're back for the Girard Sports Live Halftime Show, brought to you by GN Bank, where they've been providing customers with the highest quality financial services in a friendly and personal way for over 100 years. Personal, business, or agricultural needs, turn to GN Bank. Learn more at gn-bank.com. And as we take a look back at the first half, Kenara Eye Care is here to make sure you can see what you're looking at. Kenara Eye Care, with locations in Pittsburgh and Girard, is here to help their valued customers. Learn more at KenaraEyeCare.com. It is a 21-point game as we enter half, but I feel like it's a little bit too early. You can never really say goodbye during halftime, especially not with a lead that's only 21 points.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing just going into the second half is you're going to have to see a completely different team from Girard with this. 4 points is probably the least amount of scoring I've seen from this girls team in the past 3 years, even, since I've been in high school, really. And so it's just, to put it blatantly, one of the worst offensive performances I've seen from this team. And so it's just something is going to need to change, and it'll need to change pretty quick if you want this game to really be competitive in any sort of way. And the other thing that this team will need to do is just limit Jacayla Davis, and I know that's something that we had talked about and how we had mentioned that this isn't really a one-man show with her kind of being the only one, but so far in this game she has 23 of the Panthers' 25 points, and so without her in this game, the score would be 4-2. And so it's just,
yeah. Looking towards this second half, it has been a pretty ugly first half, and I would say the biggest statistic that needs to change right now for Girard is rebounding. It has been pretty much one and done when it comes to shots on offense, and they aren't bad shots. They're good looks, good open looks, whether they're from the perimeter or inside, but not every first shot is going to fall. And most of the time, the first shot isn't falling for Colgan either, and they're getting third and fourth opportunities on offense. It has just been really difficult for Girard to get anything going with the time of possession leaning towards the Panthers. And not only that, but also just only getting, I think they're probably averaging about 0.4 of a shot per possession. There are most possessions it either end in a turnover or one shot goes up and then the rebound comes down. in Colgan's favor. So it has to change going into the second half. And if not, I mean, this Girard team's just going to have to dream on.
And, yeah, I mean, just there needs to be adjustments. And, I mean, like you were saying, is rebounding is something that we've talked about every week of just this Colgan team. I don't know. We don't have the exact number, but they are definitely winning the rebound battle, and that's kind of what's giving them these chances to just keep scoring and just growing this lead. And so the biggest thing for the Trojans is just trying to get back into a place where you can kind of limit those rebounds and also just get more rebounds for yourself. That way that you can kind of change the scoring in the second half to make this game any more competitive than it is now.
Yeah, and I mean, offensively, this Colgan team isn't doing like a stellar job. They haven't dropped 40 on them in a half. So this isn't, out of hand type scoring out of Colgan. It's just a 21-point lead that comes from a good, probably average amount of points for the Panthers, and then a very, very below average score from Girard, which I don't know if we've seen. I think the only time we've seen a separation this large was in Burlington, and that was the first time we had seen a separation that large, and that came in the third and fourth quarter. We're seeing it at halftime right now, and that's the problem that I think. I mean, obviously it's the problem that I'm having with it right now. But rebounds, I think if you sway those in just a few times here and there, Kester gets a rebound, gets a try for a putback. Maybe she gets fouled if it doesn't go in. You get to shoot free throws, or Keller gets a board. Briley Black gets a board. I know it's going to be a lot tougher now that Boatman looks like she hasn't even returned to the floor out of halftime. So, I mean, as of right now, we're kind of staring down the barrel of we're not going to have Boatman for the rest of the game. So you've got to work with the people you got. And right now, I think that's Keller, Kester, and Black who are really working the post effectively, at least.
And, I mean, I agree with everything that you were saying there. Just you got to get back into a groove of scoring, and how we had talked about how really the only other deficit like this that the girls team had seen was against Silver Lake in the Burlington tournament, which that's a good team. And going into this, you knew that this Colgan team was also going to be one of the better teams that we play, especially in the CNC. And so it'll be interesting just to see how this Trojan team can respond in the second half.
Well, time after time, I've seen teams blow some bigger leads in the second half of games. So if you're Girard, Colgan's coming out here, there's a chance that they're settled in. They're not really looking to push the narrative as much. This is the time to attack. And if you want a chance like this ever again, this is an opportunity, the way I see it. One of the largest comebacks from halftime in the CNC this season. So try to take it with as much assertiveness as possible. But as we roll into the second half, those halftime stats were brought to you by B&B Excavating. The numbers don't lie, dirt is heavy, so trust the guys at B&B Excavating to move what needs moving. Specializing in septic systems, waterline install and repair, driveways, rock hauling, and leveling. B&B Excavating, call 620-724-2735. Starting off with the ball, I believe it will be Colgan as we've switched sides, so Colgan will be attacking on the right with Girard offensively on the left. Not much else to say about that first half analysis. I feel like we're pointing towards one thing, and right now we are actually seeing Erica Boatman walked out to the bench, and it looks like she's got that left ankle wrapped. No shoe on, so out for the remainder of the game, as it seems. Of course, hoping for a speedy recovery to see her back on the floor once again as a Trojan. Sooner rather than later.
Definitely. She's a big part of this Trojan team.
Colgan starts with the ball. Gilmore works it inside, and it's taken away by Sisney. As we enter this third quarter of play. Pass down on the corner. Sisney drills the trifecta.
And that's how it starts.
Opens this game up a little bit here in the third.
And with that 3, the scoreboard doesn't even seem that bad now.
Davis pulls up, mid-range 2, can't get it. Ascanio's putback won't go either. And that is only a 2-shot possession, certainly a little bit lower than some of the other possessions that Colgan has had. Nice start here to the half for Girard. See if they can continue this, keep the ball rolling. Over to Oran, 12 on the shot clock. Mooneyham trying to work underneath. Gets caught up and travels. Urlacher trying to plead his case there. But to no avail, as Jacayla Davis takes it down the right side, out to Gilmore. It's a loose ball. She tries to save it, and Sisney takes it away for Girard.
And so far for Girard, I mean, these look like a lot of better possessions, especially on both the offensive and defensive side of things. That these are the types of possessions that you will need to even crawl back into this game.
Oran over to Sisney. Sisney scanning, gives it back to Oran on the point. Now trying to work it underneath. Sisney tries to save it from going out of bounds. Couldn't get her hand underneath it. 18-point game as it sits. Yagmore gets it into Janessa. And now Kennedy Keller playing face-to-face with Jacayla Davis as she will take her to the corner. Working it to Jacayla in the paint. Yagmore for 3. Can't get it to go. It's rebounded by Janessa. She loses the ball. Jacayla picks it up, takes the 2. It dances, can't go. Ascanio with the putback gets it to fall.
With the Trojans being down by 20, I think the biggest thing you would like to see is if in this third quarter they could just cut it down to 10 and just
Keller,
make it manageable.
Her missed shot ends up in the grasps of Davis. And another collision there on the close side wing. Keller and Osborne hit the deck momentarily. Now Osborne trying to drive. Looking to kick out, and it's a jump ball. Great play by Carson Orand.
Looks like it will be the Trojans' ball. I believe the arrow was wrong down at the scores table.
They work it to Sisney. Orand back to Sisney. She tries to save it and steps out of bounds in the process. Another turnover by this Trojan offense.
Looks like Black will come into the game for Mooneyham.
Inbound to Osborne as she will take it across midcourt. Osborne trying to work her way inside, loses the ball. Now over to Janessa Davis. Yagmore guarded closely by Orand. Yagmore kicks out. Osborne for 3. Can't get it. Rebounds on her own shot. Tries for a reverse. And that one gets called a foul. Goes against Maddie Kester. First one is in for her first free throw. And the second one rebounded by Kester. Oran. Oran, pass inside to Keller, will be kicked. Slowed things down, back up to a 21-point lead for the Panthers. Both teams sitting on 3 points for the quarter. Kester looking to drive and gets a block foul. Janessa Davis accredited with that one. That's her third. Kester on the inbound. Gets it to Oran. Oran to Sisney. Sisney whip it over to Kester for three, and it's off the shot clock, out of bounds. Just under 4 minutes to go. Jacayla Davis drives into the paint, gets fouled on her way to the bucket. Will be headed to the line for two. Looking to grow this lead to 23. Gets the first.
It's like Trojans will come in and Sisney will take a seat.
For the second. Good to go as well. Oran. Over to Kester. Trezona inside. Black. Her shot won't go, and it's rebounded by Ascanio. Jacayla drives down the left side, is fouled, and shooting an and one. Now up to a 25-point lead. And this team has just really got to come together to find a way to stop Jacayla Davis.
So far, I mean, the Trojans have gone back to being silent on the offensive side with only that 1-3 to open up this third quarter.
And with that first three, I really thought, there was something in the air, but it just has been quiet ever since. I mean, 3 made baskets is just not enough to get it done here in the third quarter. And like we had said, you would have liked to see this team cut it down to maybe 10, 15 even. Try and make it a little bit manageable there in the fourth and go on a run. But right now, just not anything going in favor of the Trojans, and they're just looking very exhausted.
This team does not look like themselves, and there's always a possibility that it's something else with, I know there's a lot of sickness going around, and that can always play a role in things, but just, an unlike performance for the Trojans so far tonight.
Certainly unlike, as I would totally agree with that. As Girard starts with the ball here, and they will take it across midcourt with Orand. Work it into Black on the elbow. Keller, long to look, drains it for two. Still got faith in this team to try and pull something together here at the back half. And right as I say that,
just any hope from that too kind of started to get diminished with that three.
Kester, her shot, she's fouled on. So she will be shooting 3 coming up here. The elusive 3-point free throw. First one dances and falls. Second, good to go as well. And for 3. Yes. So gathers all 3, knocks it down to a 24-point game. As Girard will start the full court press here. Or kind of an abbreviated version, as Keller's just mostly face guarding Jacayla Davis. They work it, Osborne for 3. Off the back iron, won't go. It's rebounded by Ascanio. And now we've got a foul called. So they will call a foul against Briley Black for that one. Inbound, Osborne. Over to Jacayla Davis. Janessa now working on the short side. Jacayla. Osborne delivers Ascanio and drops in another 2. (38-12). Sisney to Black. Her pass intercepted by Jacayla Davis. Davis gets fouled right near the free throw line, and now will be headed to the line for 2. Davis is first as Colgan reaches into bonus.
That was the one thing you didn't want to do in this third quarter, is let Colgan grow their lead and enter that bonus that kind of just almost seals the game away with that clock ticking down.
Davis has been perfect tonight from the charity stripe. Mooneyham across midcourt, scanning. Delivers a pass to Sisney. Sisney looking up top to Oran. Jacayla Davis, born to run, gets another 2. Back in for Colgan. As Jacayla Davis takes it across midcourt and sets up the offense. Davis, guarded by Keller. Calling for something up top. Yagmore kicks it to Janessa. Driving, her shot, and one. So another and one moment. This one coming from Janessa Davis, not Jacayla. As she will get a chance for a 3-point. From the stripe, drains it. 45-12, 33 seconds remaining here in the third. Keller gives it to Sisney. Sisney back to Keller. Keller will draw a block foul on Caitlin Schiffelbein. And now Keller on the inbound. That's 4 fouls, leaves Girard in bonus for the time being. Oran gets a 2 to go. Now Jacayla Davis, 5 seconds on the clock. Kicks out, Yagmore can't get it to go, and it's saved by the new face, Drew Dayton, but not before the buzzer. 14:45 is the score. We'll head into the final 8 minutes of play. A 31-point lead has been the recipe. We'll be right back after this.
Since 1918, GN Bank has been the heart of our community. Big enough to meet all your banking needs, but small enough to offer that personal touch you deserve. From agricultural loans to home mortgages, GN Bank has the expertise, products, and service to help you thrive. With a pledge to treat others ethically, be adaptable, focus on customers, and invest in the communities they serve, GN Bank is committed to your success. The best place to bank and borrow, GN Bank, where community banking truly comes first. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
I was raised in a small town, and there was a lot of people who took time to invest in me. And so when we decided to open up our offices, we want to make sure that we're pouring back into the community that's giving to us. We care. We want to be involved. We want to have a passion for what you have a passion for. We want to be able to give back. And that's the foundation. That's why we're more than just insurance.
Back on Girard Sports Live, inside of the final quarter of play. Gilmore's 3 does not go. And now we've got an out-of-bounds call here as Girard takes over. And with the running clock here, Black, her shot goes up and comes down a foul. So she'll be shooting 2. First one from Black does not go. A little bit left on that attempt. Second is clean. Jacayla to Gilmore. Over to Yagmore. Gilmore now again. Kicks it down low to Davis. Janessa Davis can't get it to fall. Jump ball on the floor between Black and Davis. And it'll be headed back to Girard. This one taken away. Jacayla Davis drops in another 2.
And so far, she has just been the person to start just everything tonight for the Panthers.
Another whistle blown, jump ball back to the Panthers. Jacayla Davis to Yagmore. Gilmore at the point, receives the pass. Now back over to Yagmore. Yagmore trying to work it underneath to Escanio, and that one's taken away by Black. Oran now will take it across midcourt. Mooneyham. Oran. Sisney. That one's poked out. Sticks with Girard.
And looking at the schedule going forward, there will be, you want to say, a couple of easier games to help this Girard team kind of put a couple wins under their belt, with both Galena and Lebec County being the next matchups, along with Anderson County being the 3 games that we will have next week. So just go ahead. So just looking forward past this tough stretch of games.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have some easier opponents going forward, or some lower record opponents, but man, I'll tell you what, this Girard team has got to be able to figure out something. I know you're facing a really good rebounding team, but things have got to change if you want to take them down in the opponents you just mentioned down in the future as well. I mean, 15 points, I don't think is going to cut it over Galena or Lebec County at this rate.
I don't think so, and I just think tonight was really kind of a collapse on the offensive end. I mean, towards the end of things, you could also say the defensive side of things, just an overall uncharacteristic loss for the Trojans, and that's just the big thing. Was there's been a tough stretch of basketball played in the last 3 weeks, with the Trojans now going 4-4, splitting their games, and so that's just very uncharacteristic, especially for this Lady Trojans team that has been so good, with only about, you could say, 4 losses throughout the entire year over the past 3 or 4 years under Coach Erlocker. And so just the biggest thing is just, it's been a tough stretch of basketball, and hopefully in the future this Trojan team will be able to get past that, and some of these tougher opponents, especially with Colgan and Frontenac being those CNC matchups that you will play again, being able to game plan and find a new way to get past those teams in the future.
Well, and I have a feeling that this is kind of just a one-time thing for Girard, where this is not going to be the way that this, I mean, it's more than a feeling. This is not the way that this team is going to be playing going forward. And I really do believe that faithfully, that this is just kind of a fluke of a game. You know, it's just been the way that tonight has gone. It's not the way that they would have hoped it went, but just very, very uncharacteristic, as we've said a multitude of times tonight.
And, I mean, just there's all sorts of things that are going around right now, between sicknesses and just the short week of us having a couple snow days there at the start of the week, and not many practices to fit in, and so just a difficult week for the Trojans.
Out of bounds, last touched by Trezona. As Osborne takes it down the floor. Osborne now again works it underneath. Schiffelbein, her shot fouled, will be headed to the line for 2. And we talk about kind of the players that really made the difference, and one name really comes to mind right now. Jacayla Davis just kind of managed to lay it down tonight.
I mean, she scored more than half of the Panthers' points tonight, so that's just the biggest thing that we had talked about, is if the Trojans would be able to really maintain her scoring ability, and tonight that just wasn't able to happen, and that's kind of what really blew this lead open for the Panthers.
Under 90 seconds as new faces hit the floor for Girard. They'll work it around the top. Here's a good bucket there.
That was from Macy Munkin.
Osborne, her dribble gets away from her, and now foul called. And not that it would have made a difference, but there have been a couple of calls here and there tonight that, being down so much, I didn't comment on them, but there certainly were some things that I think can really kill the morale in a team, and not feeling like you're not getting any of the whistles can be part of that, but of course that might be my biasness.
Yeah, and it's just once this team got down and scoring, it kind of just seems like a snowball effect, and it just kept getting worse and worse from there.
Osborne works it to Schiffelbein, and now Osborne and company will go round and around the perimeter. And that will be the end of it. Final score of tonight's contest in the girls' game, 51-17. And not the way that this Girard team would have hoped this contest to go. And I think even Colgan would have told you that this game would have been a lot closer than it ended up being.
And that's what we had talked about, was we were expecting either a really close high-scoring game or a really close low-scoring game, and not the outcome that we ended up having tonight. So just like to say a lucky break for the Panthers.
Yeah. Well, we will go ahead and send it to the post-game show here in a minute, as we'll take a break and we'll be right back after this.
Every day, people are discovering that bigger isn't better, better is better. Big box stores continue to disappoint. You have spoken, and we have been listening. You want a great selection with dependable service at a competitive price. We understand, and that's what we bring to you every day. We know that we have to work hard to earn your business, and we will. Bigger isn't better, better is better at Heidrich's, Fort Scott, and Girard.
Welcome to Homestead of Girard, assisted and independent living right here in our hometown. At Homestead, seniors enjoy compassionate care in a community designed for comfort. Licensed professionals provide support with daily activities, dressing, bathing, and medication management. Residents enjoy home-cooked meals and the comfort of their own private apartment. Call 620-724-6760 to schedule your tour today. Homestead of Girard, senior living with compassion, comfort, and community.
And we're back on the post-game show here for Girard Sports Live. Post-game show sponsor is Eastside Cafe. Experience the best breakfast in town 6 days a week at 120 South Ozark Street in Girard. Eastside Cafe, a proud supporter of Trojan athletics. And let's talk about the player of the game tonight, Caleb. Certainly a tough pick for the Trojans for tonight's contest.
Yeah, I think if I were to give it to a player of the game, I'd say Kennedy Keller was really, she had 4 points and was one of the few scorers for Girard tonight, and just she was the one that was forced to kind of face guard Jacayla Davis all night that we had talked about, that she just was really giving it her all out there trying to limit Davis from scoring, and I think she really did help limit that scoring in the second quarter whenever they decided to go to that style of defense, and just the amount of falls that she had taken from screens trying to get Davis away from Kennedy was the biggest thing that I saw. So for me, I'd probably say Kennedy Keller tonight for player of the game.
Yeah, and as we kind of roll into some of these post-game stats, as we get set for this boys game, I mean, really only one stat line that we had there in that girls game, and that was the Jacayla Davis points. Caleb, do you have a total for us?
I can if you give me a second to tally it all up.
Well, just kind of looking at it from a rough standpoint, it is outlandish, to say the least. It was a dominant performance from Davis, and like I said, she just laid it down here tonight.
I mean, from what I have written down, it looks like she had about 32 of the total points for Colgan, so really just, that could be off. She could have more, could have a couple less, but that is.
Yeah, sounds about right for a player that was able to put up 1,000 career points in her first 3 years of playing here at Colgan. She ended up halfway through her junior season putting up 1,000 points, which is, I mean, just a phenomenal player in the CNC, one that everybody looks at and just kind of says, that's the one we got to beat, you know. And Colgan certainly is one of the top teams, if not the top team right now in the CNC. They're going to be a threat there in the postseason. It's going to be a team that Girard's going to want to keep their eye on, and Girard's just been a little bit spotty here after break. I think going forward, though, you know, you find your flow, you get kind of in the groove of things once again. Things could certainly change. Face a couple of easier opponents maybe. That could help. You know, you're coming out of break, you're playing 5-6 opponents that are all winning records. Very, very difficult to do coming straight out of break. I thought the Baxter Springs game would be kind of the good kickoff, but I think they just need a couple more games to really feel out, you know, what's it like to get the buckets to fall, what's it like to get the ball in the paint, you know, and just develop that routine offense, get that muscle memory back, and hopefully things start to develop once again.
And another factor, and it could always be just the fact that to start off the year, we always had, I think, we had almost every single game, and I believe it was that every single game was at home before Christmas break, and coming out of the break, we've had, I believe, 1 or 2 home games, and every other game since has been an away game, and that span of away games looks to continue. So just playing in unfamiliar arenas for the Trojans instead of playing at home for every single game might also just be another factor of playing in a new court, and that's going to be something that can affect this team.
Well, we'll see if the boys can be the heroes tonight, as we have Coach Urlacher heading up here right now. Post-game coach interview is brought to you by Community National Bank and Trust, serving the area for 30 years. Stop in soon to pick up your very own Girard Trojan Instant Issue Mascot debit card. Community National Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Girard schools. Learn more online at mybankcnb.com. Urlacher right around the corner as we will get this post-game coach's interview underway. Here with the head coach of the Girard Trojans girls team, Coach Urlacher. Coach, a bit of a rougher night on the scoring side. I would say defensively you guys looked relatively good. What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, you know, I think you hit the nail on the head there. First half we played good enough defense that we were in that ball game. You know, if you examine their points, you know, other than 23 being special, we really in the half-court set didn't allow them to score. It was a transition. It was our errors our offense turning into their offense. You know, we simulate and practice, and I've been putting, sometimes with our starters, I've been putting, you know, 6 or 7 people out there. I know, and I just said 6, 7, right? But we have, and trying to simulate and give them a look, you know, but it boils down to there's times, you know, where players have to make plays, and we're looking at times around, and it looks like no one's open, and that probably means that you're the one that's open, that you need to try to get to the rim. You know, they pressured us, so they were effective. You know, I thought that they really allowed us to play that first half, both sides, overall they allowed us to play, which I don't know that was in our advantage. They were knocking us down pretty good, but we've got to find energy, and so we've had and it kind of happened in the Silver Lake game, probably happened a little bit in the Frontenac game. People punch us in the mouth, we got to punch right back, and I think it's like I told the kids in there, this isn't our last game. We have a lot of games. This is our 5th game in a row where we've played a ranked opponent, so we're playing a tougher schedule than probably I've ever had. With we got Colgan and Riverton and Frontenac that are all good basketball teams, and then that midseason tournament was 3 ranked teams in a row. So we're getting what we want. I always want to have my team tested, and no one wants to lose like we lost tonight. I mean, nobody wants to do that, and we got to find a way. I challenged them in there. We got to find a way, and this game was very, very similar to the first time we played Colgan, and we were able to rebound and come back the second game and play with a lot more energy. We've had a lot of flu this week. We had, obviously Erica Boatman is a key player and a key person to what we do, and her going down obviously hurt, but it's always got to be next man up mentality. I felt like I went down at halftime, and we come out and we hit a couple shots there. It wouldn't have taken a couple more shots to fall to get right back into that game, and we just didn't make that happen. And just got to keep grinding, keep working, and finding ways in practice to try to simulate that, and to where we hopefully in games can do a little better against that. So.
Yeah, going forward, you're going to get to host this team at home later on in the season. Is there anything that you're really looking at that, stood out to you other than just the ball not falling through the rim that you think could really have changed the outcome of this game?
The biggest thing is that, those first couple shots don't fall or we get the ball stolen from us and we kind of get our daubers down. We kind of get down in the dumps, and nobody's going to feel sorry for us. Like, nobody's going to they actually, when you have that kind of body language, it emboldens them to go even harder at you. So we've just got to find ways to deal with hard. That was on the board tonight, and we didn't do good. Ultimately, I don't want to blame the kids. Ultimately, it falls on my shoulders that I've got to find something, that and most years I've been able to find that puzzle piece some point in the season, and everything clicks into place, and we got, I promise you we're going to see a whole lot more of that until we figure that out. So, teams are kind of copycat. They watch film, and we got, again, a lot of good teams in the league, and so we got to figure ourselves out, and we got to pull ourselves out of the ditch because nobody else will.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming up and taking time to speak once again, and I look forward to calling the rest of the season.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that was head coach Brad Urlacher of the girls team for Girard. Once again, very appreciative of all the coaches that take their time out of their night here in Colgan, as well as everywhere else that we go, to come and talk to us here on Girard Sports Live. It's obviously, we're very, very fortunate to have such a great coaching staff and athletic department to encourage that, and also just be so not lighthearted, but be so willing to do so. Coach Caleb's back in the booth now with me, as Coach had some really good thoughts, just feeling like that team was down in the dumps there early and just couldn't quite dig themselves out of it. Thought that was a great analysis, Caleb. Anything you'd like to add on there?
I mean, I agree with Coach that just kind of, once the team got down, they kind of just kept digging. I mean, it just got worse and worse from where it started. So,
well, we'll go ahead and send it to a short break here, and we'll be right back with the pregame for the boys.
Community National Bank and Trust has been serving the area for more than 30 years with a strong commitment to the highest quality leadership and banking services. Missing that human touch with your bank? Come talk to a real person at Community National Bank and Trust. We're your local bank that's small enough to know you, yet big enough to offer the best products. Community National Bank and Trust. Federally insured, locally awesome. Member FDIC.
Whether you're trying to make the most of the next harvest, navigating a changing business landscape, or planning for the next chapter in your life, the professionals at Prime Accounting Solutions are here to help. With 10 locations, Prime Accounting offers convenient, friendly accounting and tax services at a fair price. Payroll, bookkeeping, business planning, personal tax filing, and more. And now Prime is the place to go for insurance. Trojan fans can find us at 408B North Grand in Pittsburgh or call 620-232-7305. To find a location near you, go to primeaccounting.net.
You've enjoyed life. Over the years, your community has become your passion, something you hope future generations get to experience, just as you have. That's why the Girard Area Community Foundation has worked hard to help fulfill charitable goals and inspire generosity, meeting the needs of the communities they serve. Creating a legacy fund with GACF ensures what you leave behind is an effective and lasting improvement in the community you love so dearly. Make plans to visit GirardAreaFoundation.com, preserving traditions for those who follow.
As we get set for the boys' game, looking across at the board right now, we'll go ahead and talk about these Colgan starters. First off, number 55, the 6'3 senior Jaden Brown, followed by number 24, the 6'2 sophomore Gabe Brown, number 11, the 6'1 junior Brady Bettiga, followed by number 2, the 6'2 senior Brady Crossland. And rounding out that team is number 0, the 6'1 senior Brock Riddell. And then for Girard, Caleb.
Now looking at the Girard side of things, it looks like we will start off with number 1, a 5'11 junior Perrin Stevens. Number 2, a 5'8 freshman Briggs Buckingham. Number 4, a 6'2 sophomore Jackson Smith. Number 12, a 6'2 junior Ben Colgan, and number 35, a 5'11 junior Blake Brokaw.
So Harrison Burke, the one that will be not in the starting lineup who usually is tonight, as we saw Buckingham come in for Brokaw later on in the season, and then or not later on in the season, but later on in the Burlington tournament. And then now Brokaw rejoins the starting lineup and will be joining Buckingham. So not what I expected, really.
Which, something that is interesting to go with that is that it looks like with Harrison sitting and it looks like Adrian Newton will be out for this game, the Trojans honestly have almost a shorter lineup with both Briggs Buckingham and Blake Brokaw being in there alongside Perrin Stevens, with 3 of them being some of the shorter starters. And without Harrison starting and with Adrian sitting out this game, it'll be interesting to see how they match up against this Colgan team, who has a height advantage, I would believe, just looking at the guys on the bench.
Yeah, they're certainly a taller team. Especially with Riddell down low. He's going to be kind of a force to be reckoned with. Crossland can certainly get up there in the post. And then Jaden Brown, 6'3 senior. He's going to be somebody who you're going to want to keep your eye on. But I do think Burke's he's going to play well coming off the bench. He's not going to be that starter that he usually is. But I think maybe this will light a little bit of fire on him. I don't know how personal these players are taking, not being a starter or being a starter, but, you come off the bench, you feel like maybe there's a little bit more of a spark there and you can just kind of jump the gun, whether you're up or down. You feel like you can kind of play the hero role or play the supporter role, whatever it is. Just a whole different kind of mentality there. I hope Burke uses that to his advantage going into tonight. For Buckingham, though, I think this might be a good confidence booster for him coming into tonight, being that kind of recurring starter now at this point, where he can feel that confidence to go up there and take that 3 whenever it's available, which I think he certainly should at pretty much any opportunity.
And honestly, how you were saying, wondering if will this affect Harrison Burke coming off the bench, of just with him not starting, does that really affect his mentality? And I think really just talking to any of these guys, this team enjoys playing for one another and not really playing selfish basketball. And so, especially knowing just Harrison as a person, I don't think it'll affect him one bit coming off the bench. And just, he's one of the most fundamental players on this team. So I believe that just he'll be able to come off the bench and get those points whenever coach is really looking for points that you would need, and making sure that whenever Harrison's shooting the ball, typically it'll go in about 80% of the time.
Well, and another thing to keep in mind, Adrian Newton does not seem to be dressed out tonight. So I don't believe he will be playing in tonight's game. Burke kind of taking that position as that height that's coming off the bench as well. Might be something that Coach Westcott kind of worked into the game plan, saying, I want to be able to bring in a bigger package if I need to. They work it to Bettiga. Colgan starting off with the ball. Riddell over to Crossland, and now Brown, who hands it off. Crossland's going to direct traffic from the top of the key. 15 on the shot clock. Bettiga. Jaden Brown. Back over. Crossland for three. Can't go. It's short. And it's rebounded by Brokaw. And just kind of stepping into this game, I think for Girard, it's a little bit difficult not to look at the man in the mirror with that girls' game and feel like, you know, you have to play to a certain standard to some extent.
And I think this boys team will do good about focusing on themselves, especially after seeing such a tough loss for the girls, that this boys team will be able to bounce back and almost use it as motivation to not let Colgan fully win the games tonight.
Brokaw works it to Smith on the elbow. Buckingham now kick out. Cullen drives, Euro step, his lay-in can't go. Smith with the putback, gets the two. Opens this game up. First points of the night go to Jackson Smith. Crossland to Brown. Brown back to Crossland, and now Riddell. Hand off to Bettiga. Bettiga's pass inside. It's fought for. Buckingham comes up with it, and now they'll take off down the floor. Stevens.
And so far, the boys are playing aggressive, and I think that's something that's really helping them tonight.
Cullen's pass deflected and taken away by Jaden Brown. So back-to-back turnovers on possessions for each of these teams. Gabe Brown to Riddell. Back out, Crossland. Bettiga driving with speed on the left side, and he's fouled on his way to the rim. He'll be shooting two. Bettiga has been, at least from what I could tell from last season, he has been the kind of go-to scorer for Colgan and this boys team. Bettiga knocks down both of his free throws, evens it out at 2 apiece. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first. Smith, Brokaw. Stevens, and now they'll keep it on the point with Cullen. Buckingham, over to Cullen again. Close side wing, inside, Stevens drives and gets the two. Perrin Stevens.
And Perrin was one of those players that we saw kind of take over in the Burlington tournament, so that'll be interesting to see if he can do it again here.
Foul called on the floor on Buckingham. And now Buckingham will take a seat right after that as Schultz and Burke sub in for Buckingham and Brokaw. Bettiga, a little bit of a tip drill there. as he leaves his feet, receives the pass, and knocks down the 2 in the process. Burke works it, Schultz, now Burke. Euro step in, and he's fouled. Shooting 2 from the line. It'll be Harrison Burke. That foul, who can it be? It is Betica. First one was off the mark for Burke. And second one won't go either. Crossland will direct traffic from way up top, and now they'll swing it over Betica. Crossland now, close side wing. Betica drives, kick out. Crossland gets to the paint, gets fouled, and will be headed to the foul stripe. This will be the third visit of this game. Betica being the first, Burke with the second, and now Crossland. 3 visits to the line and only 4 fouls total. The other one belonging to Buckingham on the floor. Crossland knocked down his first. Takes the lead for Colgan, first time today. And cannot extend it. That is a foul called. I believe this is going against Gabe Brown, that it is. It'll be his first, team second. Girard maintains possession here, 5-4 game. Stevens, his pass tipped, recovered by Schultz. Burke works it in. Stevens for 2, gets it to fall. And another lead change here for Girard.
And so far, the boys are playing a aggressive, trying to get the ball in the paint style of offense, and I think it's really working for them of just getting the easy shot down low. As long as they can stay consistent with it, I think they'll be able to have a lot better scoring night than the girls.
Shot from Brown for 3. It's an air ball, rebounded by Crossland. Work it back over. Jaden Brown gets his way in the paint with 4 seconds on the shot clock. That one touches rim. Riddell gets the board. Back out to Crossland. Betica with it now. Looking to drive. His underneath pass is off the mark, and it's headed back to Girard.
Looks like Brokaw will check in, and Ben Cullen will take a seat.
And I agreed with your point earlier. This team just being really strong with the ball underneath, but not right there. Betica gets the takeaway and drop in 2. I've done that twice tonight. Stevens, cross midcourt with Brokaw. That's another takeaway. Crossland with it this time. Works his handles and gets underneath and one. And this is kind of the point where if you are Girard, you've got to be able to stick with it here.
And that's the thing, is you can't let the Panthers kind of climb away with this one. And I think the big thing is just you're barely getting it past half court, and they're getting easy takeaways. Just not great passing from the Trojans to start this game in these last couple of minutes, really.
It's just so important. You just keep staying alive in this game. You cannot let this lead grow out of hand. Burke, Smith's shot rebounded by Schremer, the new face on the floor for Colgan. Mix up here on the Colgan side, and it's called against the Panthers. Control foul against Jaden Brown will be his first, the team third.
And we see Harrison Burke draw the offensive foul at least once a game, really.
Yeah, I would just say.
It's one of the things that he's really added to part of his game, and it's something that's been really successful for him.
Good bucket there, brings the lead back to 2 for Colgan. Only a one-possession game now. Schremer tries to go up, and it's hard off the iron. Transition basketball here from Girard. Brokob scanning, gives it off. Stevens receives the pass, and now we've got another off-ball foul. This time, Burke is the one called for it.
With that foul, it looks like the Panthers will be in the bonus. So another foul will send them to the line.
New face on the floor for the Panthers. Colton Simmons, 6-foot sophomore. Lomshek also in there. As Schremer tries to go up against Cullen, and his shot won't go again. Now Cullen will take it across midcourt, swing it to Brokob. Brokob out to Smith, and now here's Cullen again. Burke. Cullen for 2, ties it up. 10-10 as we dip into the final 90 of the first quarter. Brown over to Simmons. Back to Lomshek. Lomshek back and forth with him and Schremer. Simmons recovers. Another tipped ball. Sticks with the Panthers. Bedega's pass tipped again, and it stays with Schremer.
There's 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
Lomshek's pass out. Bedega for the triple. Wow, what a recovery. They get it across midcourt to Burke. Cullen to Brokob. 30 seconds, 8 seconds separates shot and game clock. As they work it to Cullen. Cullen fighting through physicality and a carry.
Really?
Carry called against Ben Cullen. Leads to another turnover here on the Girard side as Schremer will check out for Jaden Brown. 20 seconds.
Shot clock is turned off.
Bedega looking to drive, 5 seconds left. Does it himself, but it's blocked. Fought for, and the ball travels on the ground for the final seconds. 13-10 is the score. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after this for the second quarter of action.
Community National Bank and Trust has been serving the area for more than 30 years with a strong commitment to the highest quality leadership and banking services. Missing that human touch with your bank? Come talk to a real person at Community National Bank and Trust. We're your local bank that's small enough to know you, yet big enough to offer the best products. Community National Bank and Trust, federally insured, locally awesome. Member FDIC.
From the phone call to the service call, Roto-Rooter is there with fast and reliable sewer and drain service. From repair and replacement to septic and grease trap pumping, Roto-Rooter is here for you. With video inspections, Roto-Rooter can identify the exact issue to get the repair done quickly and correctly. Complete sewer line repairs or replacements, Roto-Rooter has you covered. Serving Crawford, Bourbon, and Cherokee counties, Roto-Rooter, 620-231-5630.
Second quarter of action as we boot up here in Colgan. 13-10 is the score. Bedega's 3 is the separator right now for the Panthers. But outside of that, both of these teams playing very good basketball. Stevens starts with the ball. Over Buckingham, Sweet Caroline, he drills the 3.
That is barbecue chicken, easiest shot you'll see Buckingham make.
Foul called towards the base on the transition towards the Colgan side as we've got a new face on the floor. It's number 45. See if I can get that name here in a second. So it's not actually listed. I would be led to believe it is Frank Stroud. As Crossland's first falls.
I'm a fan of the sweatband. It reminds me of old school basketball.
Second one off the mark. Smith with the rebound, and now Brocob with a speedy dribble down the floor and can't get it around the glass. Here's Brown now, transition for Colgan. Tip ball there as Crossland keeps it. They work it out, Brown to Bedega. Bedega kicks out. Jaden Brown for 3, and he drills it. 17-13. Brokob's pass to Smith. Spin move underneath. The lay-in can't go, and Cullen tips the rebound into the hands of Crossland. Brown now looking to drive. On the block. Kick out. Crossland driving into the paint, and now we've got a foul called. Crossland will be headed to the line for 2. Crossland's first. A little weak on that try. And the second. Can't go either. That one's right. Rebounded by Girard, and now Smith will work it across with Buckingham. Cullen to Buckingham. Buckingham looking for an opening, and now we've got a foul. No way.
Really?
Called Jackson Smith for his 3rd foul.
Jackson with 3 already. It's only the second quarter.
6:20 remaining in the second, and I would be surprised if he sees more time here in the first half.
He's had a couple of those calls that are just either way on him tonight so far.
They work it inside, foul, no shots. As that'll be called on the floor. So now the inbound. Riddell, shot, blocked. Trying to go back up with it, and it's a jump ball called. Great play by Colgan and company. Underneath for the Trojans. Forces the possession arrow out of Colgan. 31 seconds on the shot clock. They work it inside. Brown, his pass over the head of Bettiga, and a turnover to Girard. Inside of 6 minutes remaining here in the first half. 4-point game in favor of the Panthers. Buckingham over to Stevens. Stevens looking for a driving lane. Hands it off. Brocob fires from the elbow. Can't go, and it's rebounded by Brown. Brown lengthening his stride across the court. Kicks it over. Crossland. His pass underneath to Riddell is off of his chest. Bettiga recovers. Cross court. Brown, far 90. Can't go, and it's rebounded, taken away by Colgan. Wow.
A lot happening there.
Brocob to Buckingham. Burke to Colgan. Colgan now trying to work it in the post. Can't get it. It's a little bit short. Bettiga on the fast break. One-on-one with Ben Colgan, and it doesn't fall. My goodness.
That was a close bucket, but good defense from Ben Colgan.
And way to stay with it as well. That one saved and off the hands of Brocob. He'll be out of bounds on Girard. Colgan will take over on the far side. Brocob will take a seat here for Briar Schultz. Pass inside is a bullet. Back out to Crossland. Brown. Crossland, back to Brown. They'll swing it around the horn. Crossland, sidestep, over to Simmons, who hands it off. Riddell, his shot is blocked, but will be a foul call in the process. So Brock Riddell will head to the line to shoot two. First one from Riddell is good. Extends it to a 5-point lead. Second one, hard off the back iron. Burke to Brocob. Brocob hands it off to Stevens. 15 on the shot clock as this one's taken away. Panthers get the turnover. Simmons transition to Riddell. Back to Simmons, and a good bucket there. Will lead the Trojans by 7. Girard calls a timeout here with 3:34 remaining in the first half. This timeout is brought to you by Live Well Crawford County and the Southeast Kansas Player Health Alliance. Reminding you to know your limits when gambling and know when the game is playing you. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-426-2537 for free assistance.
So far, the Trojans have kind of just been on a little bit of a scoring drought throughout the second quarter, and so the biggest thing is you just want to get out of that before this Colgan team really grows the lead more than it is now and starts to put a little bit of pressure on you coming out of halftime.
Yeah, I think, like you said, the important part, just getting the ball down the floor and then taking care of business under the basket, getting the buckets to fall, and that one does not from Schultz. Gabe Brown to Bettiga. Over to Simmons. Bettiga nearly loses the ball, and now Simmons. Over to Brown underneath, and he's fouled. Foul called against Blake Brocob. Still no fouls called against Colgan in this quarter alone. As they keep extending their lead. Off of the rim on the second. 8-point game here as Buckingham takes it across midcourt. Under 3 left in the first half. Stevens to Cullen. Cullen cross court to Buckingham. Over to Schultz, and now Cullen to Stevens.
About 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Buckingham, pass is deflected. It's recovered by Simmons. Probably should have been a travel there as he slid. And Bettiga drops in the 2. Schultz. Transition is taken away once again. Hand off Bettiga. Trying to work it underneath, and it's taken away by Cullen. And now we've got, no way. A control foul against Cullen on the Girard side of the floor. And that'll be Cullen's 3rd.
And that's already both Ben Colon along with Jackson Smith, 2 of your starters with 3 fouls, and then Briggs Buckingham, I think, has 2 already. So 3 people, 3 of your starters that are in foul trouble already in the second quarter.
Taken away by Burke. Buckingham for 3, can't get it to go. It's fought for on the outside, and it'll be off of the legs of Brocob. Out of bounds on the Trojans. Minute 39 remaining here in the second. Bettiga will draw up the offense from the point. Over to Brown. Crossland getting the call from his bench. Brown with 15 on the shot clock. They work it inside. Bettiga lays it in for another 2. Buckingham to Brocob. Back to Buckingham. Buckingham looking to drive. He is fouled. And will be shooting 2. That foul called against Gabe Brown, his 2nd. First team foul of the quarter for Colgan.
And that's just, I don't know if Girard's, they seem like they're playing aggressive, and so I don't know how you're really going to draw more fouls from this Colgan team, but with that being the first foul, and really, I don't think Colgan's had more than 5 fouls all game is the big thing of just, if you're Girard, how can you get that number to go up and your own foul count to go down with just there being so many in both the first and second quarter.
Burke takes the shot, is fouled, missed, and outside of that Buckingham free throw, you talk about things that probably need to switch up here towards the end of the second quarter. This team is cold as ice from the floor.
And I think if you're Girard, if you can keep it within a single-digit lead, you can give yourself a chance to really come into the third quarter and kind of get hot with scoring and just get going.
Got to get hot and stay hot. Burke made his first, and now the second. Back iron, miss. Bettiga gets the rebound, and now Crossland. 21 seconds separates shot and game clock here towards the end of the second quarter. Brown to Bettiga, inside Riddell. Schremer now trying to post up, hands it off. Riddell's shot is blocked by Brokob. Burke takes it down the floor. No more shot clock here as we dip inside of the final 30. Schultz over to Burke. 15 on the clock. Stevens, 10. Brokob now 6, 5. Over to Stevens. He stepped back, shoot 3.
There it is.
Splash from Perrin Stevens to end the second quarter, and that'll hopefully light a fire headed into the locker room here for Girard. 18-25 is the score. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with halftime stats and analysis after this.
Since 1918, GN Bank has been the heart of our community. Big enough to meet all your banking needs, but small enough to offer that personal touch you deserve. From agricultural loans to home mortgages, GN Bank has the expertise, products, and service to help you thrive. With a pledge to treat others ethically, be adaptable, focus on customers, and invest in the communities they serve, GN Bank is committed to your success. The best place to bank and borrow, GN Bank, where community banking truly comes first. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You've heard go big or go home. At Big Iron Auctions, you can go big from home. With thousands of pieces of equipment, active auctions, bidding at your convenience, and an easy-to-use site, BigIronAuctions.com can help you grow big. Call Tyler Jackman at 620-404-8115 to see how Big Iron Auctions can help grow your operation. Bid now, list now at BigIronAuctions.com.
Welcome to Homestead of Girard, assisted and independent living right here in our hometown. At Homestead, seniors enjoy compassionate care and a community designed for comfort. Licensed professionals provide support with daily activities, dressing, bathing, and medication management. Residents enjoy home-cooked meals and the comfort of their own private apartment. Call 620-724-6760 to schedule your tour today. Homestead of Girard, senior living with compassion, comfort, and community.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Hi, do you offer insurance bundling?
Enter authentication code to start transaction.
Where would I get the code?
Please enter code.
Okay. Sometimes humans are just more helpful.
Wrong.
Let's talk about bundling and see if there are other ways for you to save with a super check.
That sounds great. Here, take a look.
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Call Judd, Lori, Ginny, or Amber in Girard today.
On the halftime show for Girard Sports Live, 25-18 is the score, as this halftime show is brought to you by GN Bank, where they've been providing customers with the highest quality financial services in a friendly and personal way for over 100 years. Personal, business, or agricultural needs, turn to GN Bank. Learn more at gn-bank.com. And as we take a look back at the first half, Kennar Eye Care is here to make sure you can see what you're looking at. Kennar Eye Care, with locations in Pittsburgh and Girard, is here to help their valued customers. Learn more at KennarEyeCare.com. So like I said, 7-point game as we stand here going into the second half. These two teams kind of just going at it. And Caleb, what's your analysis so far?
I mean, so far in the game, I think the biggest thing is just on the defensive side of things, number 11, I do not want to butcher his last name if you want to help me out with that.
Oh, Bettiga.
Bettiga.
Brady Bettiga, yeah.
He has been the leading scorer for him. I mean, where I have him down for about 13 points, about half of this Colgan Panthers team scoring, and so if you're able to limit him, I mean, no one else so far has really been able to get the scoring going on the Colgan side of things. And then for your Girard side of things, I mean, the scoring has been well divided amongst really everyone so far, and so it's just continuing that. And then the other thing is just rebounding and making sure that you can get the ball across the court, and that's just one of the things that we had seen a couple times of the Trojans struggling to get the ball to their side of the court and really giving themselves a chance to actually go and score the bucket. And so I think the biggest thing is just playing how you've been playing, but limiting those turnovers and kind of getting back to a cleaner style of game to try to give yourself this edge over this Colgan team in the second half.
Yeah, towards the end of the first half, we talked about starting the fire. And really, I would just say, you know, starting that fire, you know, just getting that momentum built, and then just don't stop it until you're at the point where you can just kind of hold the line. You know, get to that point, settle into your offense at that point. But until then, it's got to be pretty much just pure aggression from this Girard team, because they are just a little bit behind. And that's something that they have been able to succeed at this season, is playing from behind. But usually it's coming down into that fourth quarter. You know, you see this 7-point gap going into the fourth. This team really starts to light a spark there and just kind of rolls off of it. But right now, we're sitting at halftime. Now, notoriously, or at least across the last 3 games, Girard has been a bit of on the struggle bus here in the third quarter. That is something that we've brought up in our post-game coaches interviews with Coach Westcott. He's agreed with us on it, that third quarter has just kind of been very lackluster. And I'm excited to see if this is going to be a little bit different, because it seems like that second quarter kind of took the place.
And that's what I was thinking of, just that in the past, this team has not really had a second quarter that's been like this, where it's the second quarters where they start to slow down. And how coaches talked about it and how we've talked about it, of just that third quarter, it seems like every single game is whenever this team kind of gets slow and just is not really getting back into things until the fourth quarter, whenever they realize they need to really lock in and get it done. And so I think the big thing is just, if this second quarter was the quarter where they kind of started to drag a little bit, how well will this Trojan team come out in the third quarter and really just get going and be explosive on the scoring side of things to cut this lead back down and either tie the game or hopefully grow your lead and get past this Colgan Panther team.
Yeah, and I mean, just kind of looking at this team, like we said notoriously, it always seems like they're living on a prayer, just kind of rolling with the punches until the very end, and then they really start to accelerate. And I hope that that's the way that this game shapes up tonight, because like we said, you know, going into this season, you've had some really tough opponents, just to kind of almost boost that record above 500 for some of those tougher opponents across this stretch of games. And then you're entering the next couple of games against some teams that you're certainly supposed to be victorious over. That can really help your mojo going through the rest of the season.
And that's the thing is, since break we had talked about that this Trojan team is 3-4, and so with a win tonight, just getting back to splitting those games will be big. And I mean, even just a win over Colgan, I know that's one of the biggest confidence boosters, is that you're able to beat one of your rivals. And so I just think the biggest thing for the Trojan team is that if you can come out of here with this win, that'll be the biggest thing going forward, that you realize that you can beat some of these better CNC teams.
Well, 1:30 remaining here in the halftime, as we will be right back after this break. But those stats those halftime stats are brought to you by B&B Excavating. The numbers don't lie. Dirt is heavy, so trust the guys at B&B Excavating to move what needs moving. Specializing in septic systems, waterline install and repair, driveways, rock hauling, and leveling. B&B Excavating. Call 620-724-2735. We'll be right back after this shortly.
Thanks to your support, Canara Eye Care has expanded. With double the space, they offer more exam rooms, larger optical selection, and extended hours to fit your schedule. And with the latest technology, they can quickly diagnose any eye-related issues. All patients are welcome at Canara Eye Care, the clear choice for your family's vision.
A partner in your fields and in your success. That's what you get with Murphy Seed. Channel seedsman Matt Murphy knows your field and can recommend the elite seed products designed to perform in your area, maximizing the profitability of every acre. And now Matt's care for farmers goes beyond seed as an agent for the new 4-state farm and ranch. From the best inputs available to the protection you need, call Murphy Seed at 620-249-6419. Your partner at every stage. Matt Murphy at Murphy Seed.
And we're back on Girard Sports Live for the second half of action. 25-18 is the score. 7-point difference right now, as it will be Girard ball to start. Buckingham on the inbound. Stevens, Cullen, Smith, and Brokaw all on the floor. Crossland, Bettiga, Riddell, and Brown and Brown on the floor for the Panthers. They'll work it with Stevens first. Down low to Smith. Smith is over to Stevens. Brokaw, his shot blocked by Riddell. Picked up by Jaden Brown. This one's tipped out of bounds by Perrin Stevens. So we'll slow the momentum here. Riddell, pass underneath to Crossland. Back out to Bettiga, whose pass is taken away by Cullen. Over to Buckingham, and now sprint dribble across midcourt as he checks up from the point. Smith. Dribbling inside, loses it. Now Jaden Brown over to Bettiga with the runaway two.
For the Trojans here, the biggest thing is getting back to how they were in that first quarter and not letting that second quarter continue over into the third of just not really being able to score the ball.
Over to Buckingham from up around the bend and can't get it to go. It's a bit short. Back to the other side with the Panthers. And a nice bucket there. Extends the lead by another two. Cullen to Stevens, out to Brokaw for the triple. Can't get that one to fall either. And now it's back to the Panthers. Now leading by 11. They've increased their lead for a run here in the third. Brown pass over to Riddell, and now across the court to Crossland for three. Can't go. Rebound Cullen. Cullen across midcourt. Working on the perimeter. Here's Brokaw. His pass taken away. And a collision with Crossland and Brokaw. Crossland, his pass outside to Bettiga, and it's out of bounds. I am a bit surprised that there was not a whistle blown on that.
I'm surprised there wasn't more anger from the crowd. I was expecting a little bit of an uproar, but that was... I guess the refs are letting them play physical basketball.
Fair enough, I suppose. Schultz tries his shot at a two and gets it to fall right through the rim. Back to a 9-point single digits deficit. Brown over the top to Riddell, who's posting up on Cullen. His shot clean as well. Nice answer from Brock Riddell. Cullen over to Stevens. So they keep it outside. Staying on the outside now with Burke. Burke from 15, can't get it to fall. Brown wide open for Crossland, and he just teardrops that one in the bucket. 20-33 is the score as Colgan grows their lead here in the third. 4:38 remaining. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Siebert back to pass. Lehman diving for the end zone, and they get the listing. Lehman passes off to Siebert on the far wing. Siebert the lob, and Lehman with the alley-oop dunk to close the deal. Lehman a hard hit ball to left field. Siebert is at the wall, and they close another one. Lehman Realty with another big-time win. Lehman Realty, proud to support the Girard.
Here at Pittsburgh Interiors, we are proud to be family-owned and operated, serving our community with quality style and service since 1999. Step into our showroom and explore furniture, flooring, window treatments, mattresses, and more. Whether you're designing a dream home, office, or simply just adding that finishing touch, our expert team is here to help. Discover why families and businesses have trusted us for over 25 years. Pittsburgh Interiors, where style meets comfort and family comes first.
You've enjoyed life over the years.
Back on Girard Sports Live. 33-20 is the score. And this third quarter kind of following in suit as to how the second went as well. Just a bit behind the Panthers for the Trojans. Schultz to Burke as they swing it around the horn to Buckingham. Cullen now trying to post up underneath. His shot won't go, and Brown gets the rebound. Transition with Crossland as he speeds up. Probably should have been an off-ball foul there as he collided with Burke, but the Trojans take back possession. Schultz now to Buckingham. Cullen now trying to use the post and one. Ben Cullen, we're going to cut this one down to 10.
Good job by Ben getting inside, being physical, and getting the and one. That's what he's done a great job of all year, of just getting in the paint and getting dirty.
Cullen, free throw, hard off the rim, and rebounded by the Panthers. Crossland Dribbling around towards midcourt. Lomchek over to Brown. Tries to carve his way underneath and gets the two to fall. So now with quick feet, Girard gets back down the floor. Brocob, Cullen to Schultz. Schultz trying to work his way in the paint and gets tripped up. Lomchek over to Crossland. Back to Lomchek, back to Crossland. Corner three from Bettiga. Won't go. It's tipped around. Burke transitions it to Brocob, and there's a foul called. It'll be the second foul called against Bettiga. Smith with it now across midcourt. Over to Schultz. Schultz delivers to Brocob underneath. Back out, now Smith on the near side wing. Burke from the points. Underneath, Schultz trying to post up. Fading two, can't get it to go, and it's out of bounds. Poked out by the Trojans.
So far in this third quarter, I mean, the Trojans are staying with the Panthers. They're just falling behind just little by little. They're staying where they really were at, almost down by 10, and now they are down by 13, but just slowly falling behind the Panthers.
And that is Jaden Beltran rocking the headband. Up to 15-point lead here. Smith now trying to drive and will be fouled on the floor. It'll be a blocking foul against Simmons. Now inbound from the Trojans with under 2 to go here in the third. Buckingham gets it to go. It just seems like whenever you need somebody, Buckingham is just one that you can always count on to try and bring you back in this.
He's reliable, and he is probably the best three-point shooter we have on this team.
Bettiga tries to work underneath. Beltran gets the putback. And one. A 14-point lead here for the Panthers. And the and one falls. 25-40. Buckingham takes it across midcourt. Over to Smith, and now they'll swing it to Schultz. Back to Buckingham. Long three. Can't go. And it's rebounded by Lomchek. Simmons to Brown underneath. And just an easy two there for the Panthers on the fast break. Burke driving the baseline. Reverse layup is in. And now once again speeding up here for Colgan. Lomchek over to Simmons, who will slow things down. Brown, Simmons. .15 on the shot clock. And Riddell gets a drop in too.
Looks like shot clock is turned off for this last possession for the Trojans.
Burke hands it off to Smith. 10 seconds. It's poked out to Stevens. Stevens kicks it over. Smith with 3 seconds, driving the paint. Can't get it to go. And Beltran hangs on to it with the 17-point lead here for Colgan. We'll take a break and be right back with the final 8 minutes of this contest.
Farmers Bank is a proud supporter of Girard schools. For generations, Farmers Bank has worked with local leaders, businesses, and residents to help shape the future of Southeast Kansas. Farmers Bank is proud to have helped with the growth and development of the communities we serve. As partners in business and friends in life, Farmers Bank is looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. Farmers Bank, with locations in Hepler, Walnut, St. Paul, and Girard. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Chicken Annie's Girard. When you're facing a chicken emergency, there's only one hero. Catering and carry out from Chicken Annie's Girard. When an onion ring craving is too much to bear, when the family's coming over and you weren't aware, it's Chicken Annie's Girard to the rescue. When there's 20, 30, 100 to feed, you need Chicken Annie's Girard indeed. A heroic value, superb flavor. When there's a chicken emergency, there's only one hero. Chicken Annie's Girard.
Colgan's been jamming tonight here in their home floor while Girard looks to escape the 17-point deficit that they're in right now. Back on Girard Sports Live for the fourth quarter of action. Gabe Brown with the Panthers. And now they'll drain some clock here on this opening possession. Working it to Bettiga. I didn't quite catch the call there.
I saw the call, I just couldn't tell you exactly what it meant. You don't see that too often.
Smith now takes it across midcourt. Stevens. Euro step inside, and his shot is blocked by Schremer. Transition as Bettiga Euro steps inside and gets the two. Cullen over to Brokob. Buckingham to Smith. Smith trying to work in the key, and one. Gets the two to fall. Frankly, when we're talking about comebacks concerning the Girard Trojans, I mean, I'm a believer in the fact that this team could certainly pull something together and try to once again just put together another comeback here in a fourth quarter.
Well, I'm always a believer until the last minute with this team, but they've been able to go on runs before, so it wouldn't be too out of the ordinary.
Buckingham out to Stevens for three, and he drills it. 32-48 is the score. Timeout called on the floor as we will take this moment to acknowledge our other timeout sponsor, which is Salon 214, now open at 107 North Ozark in Girard. Take a timeout to pamper yourself with Vanessa and her team at Salon 214. Take a timeout to check out Salon 214 on Facebook as well. 6:36 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It is a 16-point lead for the Panthers.
I mean, you got 6 minutes, 36 seconds. I think your biggest thing is just you need to quit the scoring with Colgan. You need to find a way to stop them from just continuing to get these easy buckets. And then that's whenever I think this Trojan team might have a shot to come back. If you can just limit Colgan before you really worry about your own scoring ability.
Forcing turnovers are going to be to a great benefit, as we see one right there. Trojans get the takeaway. Colgan knives his way inside and is fouled in the process, so he'll be shooting 2 with 6:16 remaining on the clock. Colgan's first. Oof. And now for the second. A little strong on that. Back the other way. Lomshek back and forth between him and Crossland. Bettiga kicks it to Crossland on the near side wing. Once again, he receives it there. Brown across the court. Lomshek from the elbow, can't get it to fall. It's rebounded by Colgan. Inside of 6 minutes now, as Buckingham's pass is tipped and taken away. Bettiga gets the pass back to Schremer, and he's fouled on his way. Pops up real quick though. First one good from Schremer. Second short on that look. It's rebounded by Riddell. They'll swing it out to Lomshek. Now over to Crossland. Lomshek to Riddell. As they continue to work it on the outside. Trying to drain as much clock as possible here. Crossland drives inside and gets the 2. 19-point game. Brokob to Burke. Now Stevens at the block, and it's poked out by Crossland. Out of bounds. So we'll stick with the Trojans. Brokob gets the inbound and fires from 3. It's rebounded by Brown. Brown kicks to Lomshek. His pass tipped out of bounds by Burke inside of 5 minutes here. And they will say Crossland stepped in bounds before delivering the pass. So a turnover there. Gives the ball back to the Trojans. Smith. They will try to work it inside, but it's taken away by Jaden Brown. He works it down the floor. Bettiga, his pass over to Crossland. Spin move inside, and he is fouled.
It's like Buckingham will check into the game, and Parent Stevens will take a seat.
Gabe Brown subs in for Brock Riddell. And now Jaden Brown will take it back outside towards the logo. We're going to work this one inside of 4 minutes here for Colgan. Bettiga to Beltran, and loose ball out of bounds, sticks with the Trojans. Under 4 now here in Panthers Arena as Buckingham gets the drop in too. Buckingham with a takeaway here, using his speed, and he will be fouled. First one off the mark. And now free throw number 2. 16-point game with that make from Buckingham. 3:30 to go. Crossland to Bettiga. Bettiga out, back around. Here's Crossland driving, kick out. Beltran nearly loses the ball again. Crossland now trying to carve his way down the right side. His shot off the mark, and now we're inside of 3 as the Trojans take it across midcourt. Pass inside to Schultz was tipped. Now he receives it in the close 90. Burke for 3 from the point. Nothing. (51-35) with less than 3 to play. Bettiga fading 2, can't get it, and Buckingham with the board. Back the other direction for Briggs Buckingham, and he's fouled on his way inside. Buckingham to inbound. Burke to Smith. Now Smith for 3 from the far wing. Can't go. Buckingham works it into Burke, and no dice on that shot either. Actually would have made it a 13-point game, which would have kind of opened things up a little bit.
About 2 minutes left.
Beltran gets fouled on his 2 attempts.
It's Jackson's 4th foul. So after 3 quick fouls in the first half, he was able to hold off until now. Looks like both Parent Stevens and Blake Brokaw will check back into the game, while Ben Cullen and Harrison Burke will take a seat, along with Sutton Gordon will also check in, with Buckingham joining the bench.
Under 2 to play. as Beltran gets his second of 2 free throws. 52-35. Schultz to Brocob. And now Stevens trying to get inside and gets the 2. This team just playing with a lot of grit here. Trying to get whatever they can here towards the end.
Playing until the whistle blows.
Brown out to Lomshek. Now back to Brown outside the perimeter. Bettiga now, floater 2. Can't go, and Beltran is fouled on the rebound. That'll be the 4th foul from the Trojans. So now, new face on the floor is Sutton Gordon. Schremer posts up, can't get it to fall. 70 seconds remaining as the Trojans work it down the floor. Gordon to Brocob. Underneath to Smith. Tries to post up and gets the 2.
It was a good offensive effort in this 4th quarter for the Trojans, but just too little time, you would think, to get it done.
Simmons shot won't go. Rebound and put back from Brown. Gets it to fall. 25 seconds remaining. Stevens to Schultz to Brocob, and now they'll keep it on the perimeter. 15. Schultz now drives in, fading 2. Short, and it's rebounded by Brown. Lomshek hands it off to Simmons, who will be the last to touch it. And that will conclude tonight's contests here in Colgan. 15-point victory for the Panthers over the Trojans as they continue to be back and forth on win-losses.
Just another tough opponent and another tough loss for the Trojans here. We had said before they were 3-4, now 3-5 after the break. So just a tough stretch of basketball since Christmas, and so it'll be important over these next couple of games just to get some of those easier teams, some of those easier wins really under their belts to bring back a little bit of confidence for this team.
We look towards the post-game show, which is brought to you by Eastside Cafe. Experience the best breakfast in town 6 days a week at 120 South Ozark Street in Girard. Eastside Cafe, a proud supporter of Trojan Athletics. We'll talk about the shot of the game, which is brought to you by Bradshaw Collision Repair. Bob Bradshaw offers refinishing, paintless dent repair, glass replacement, and more. Let Bradshaw Collision Repair get you back in the game. Call 620-724-7300.
Drake, I don't know what you were thinking for that shot of the game, but I was debating between, it's the same person, but both of the threes that we had seen Briggs Buckingham make was just one there at the end of the game and one there in the first half. Just both of those threes really seemed to give the Trojans some hope and kind of bring them back into the game a little bit, but unless you have something else.
I mean, there just wasn't really a swing moment there that kind of kick-started everything, but I would say if there should have been, it should have been on the Buckingham three for sure, as that seemed to be kind of an opening there for Girard. But I'll tell you what, player of the game, I know this might sound a little bit crazy, but I think I'm going to give it to Ben Cullen underneath, as he was really working the paint. He was working against some really tall players, you know, Jaden Brown, as well as Beltran. both standing well over 6 foot. Schremer standing 6'5". I mean, those were just some tall bodies down there that Colgan was having to work against. And I felt like Girard really wasn't outmatched by rebounds.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I only say this because I know Ben, but I would never give him player of the game. I would say just the highest score for us tonight, another person to shout out would just be Perrin Stevens, who had 10. Just really, whenever it seemed like the team needed a bucket, he was there to help out. Briggs had those 2 big threes, but I agree with you that Ben had a tough job, and he's probably deserving of it tonight, of just that, playing under the rim and having to deal with some of those bigger guys that Colgan does have. So I agree with you on that one.
Well, we'll go ahead and send it to a break, and then we'll be right back with the post-game coach interview. That is brought to you by Community National Bank and Trust, serving the area for 30 years. Stop in soon to pick up your very own Girard Trojan Instant Issue Mascot Debit Card. Community National Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Girard Schools. Learn more online at mybankcnb.com. We'll be right back after this break.
You've enjoyed life. Over the years, your community has become your passion, something you hope future generations get to experience, just as you have. That's why the Girard Area Community Foundation has worked hard to help fulfill charitable goals and inspire generosity, meeting the needs of the communities they serve. Creating a legacy fund with GACF ensures what you leave behind is an effective and lasting improvement in the community you love so dearly. Make plans to visit GirardAreaFoundation.com, preserving traditions for those who follow.
Call service is outstanding in their field, especially for those that are stuck, well, outstanding in their field. Calls carries a wide selection of farm, industrial, and heavy-duty tires, all from the best brands in the business. And they've got farm service trucks ready to go. Plus, Calls continues to be the place folks go for car and truck tires, repairs, oil changes, and so much more. If you're in the market for new tires in Southeast Kansas, make the right call to Call Service, 620-724-4121. See more at callservicellc.com.
There's a lot of choices when you think about buying crop insurance. One thing that's important to us is the roots and loyalty of where you come from and knowing who you can trust. And with all the obstacles that farmers are dealing with on a constant basis, we're there and we're living those struggles, and we understand them. And we got to put bushels in the bin to provide for each family. And when that doesn't happen, it's good to know you have a good crop insurance agent to cover you when the hard times happen.
At the Farm and Ranch Division of the 4-State Agency, we're a team of experts who genuinely care about you and your farming operation. That's why whether it's a visit to your farm or a friendly chat at our office, we're committed to delivering the service you deserve. Our team is fully licensed in both crop insurance and LRP, allowing us to cover your entire farming operation across Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Contact us today to see how we can help.
More than just your neighborhood pharmacy, Mathis Drug is your hometown partner in health. With pharmacist Bria Scheibe and an experienced, highly trained staff, Mathis Drug is ready to serve you. And now, Mathis Drug offers comprehensive compounding, which is one of the few pharmacies in Southeast Kansas with this convenient on-site service. From medications to expert advice, call 620-261-9779. Mathis Drug Store, where community and care come together.
And we're back for the post-game coaches interview here with head coach Wes Scott of the boys team. Coach, once again, you guys fought towards the end of the game, just kind of came up a little bit short there. What's your breakdown on what went on tonight?
Well, I'm not faulting our kids' efforts tonight. I thought we played hard for the most part. We had some lapses, had some turnovers that cost us, obviously, but kids are playing hard. Got out physical tonight. They're a little quicker than we are, a little bigger and stronger, and they passed the ball extremely well. They got the ball to the middle there in that first half and really picked us apart, whether we man or zone. But kids are playing hard. We're starting to learn some things. Not faulting our kids' effort right now. We just got to continue to get better. We knew they were a good team, and they do. They got a nice team. They move the ball well. They share it well. And for the most part, they didn't take any bad shots. So when you can do that, it makes it tough on your opponent, and that's what we're striving to do ourselves. We've got to be better from the free throw line. We got to the line some tonight, and we left some points out there that we got to knock down, and that's been a hamper for a hindering for us this year. And hopefully we'll continue to work on it. And here by the end of the year, we're knocking them down. But we're still a work in progress. We're not where we need to be. So we'll get back after it next week, and a big week next week. It's kind of like tournament week. We're back to 3 games next week. So I'm kind of learning on the fly, but we'll get after it and see what happens.
Yeah, you talked about playing against some bigger competition, some stronger guys or whatnot, and your team playing hard. One of the things that we talked about in the post-game show, me and Caleb, was the fact that Ben really put up a great fight down there underneath. I mean, I felt like he didn't really get super outmatched in the rebound game, and he was really well. What do you think about that?
Ben played his tail. He plays hard every night. He's not saving anything. He leaves it all on the floor and does a great job for us. He's kind of the leader. It's tough for him to be the point guard when he's playing down inside for us, but he's vocal. He talks on defense, does a great job there, and gets guys organized, gets us where we need to be. So can't say enough about him. He's doing some great things for us there, and the guys, they listen when he talks too. So that's been good, and he's continuing to get better, and hopefully that we all do that same thing and keep getting better, and we continue that. I think things will happen for us. Other guys will start picking some things up, and we're going to have some good things happen here at the end.
Yeah, and then finally, you've got this team coming up once again on your schedule back in Girard. What is it? Is there something that you're really looking forward to seeing out of your guys now that you've kind of gotten a taste of what this year's team looks like for Colgan and some of those others?
We start over next week. We'll see Galena again. It's the second time through. It's always tougher the second time through because everybody knows each other. And tonight I was talking to Clint, their head coach there. We give up the lob on the inbounds down here. They've ran it for years, and I'm furious about it because we've talked about it, and we know it's coming, and we still give it up. Well, then they're high school kids. They give up the 3 there at the end of the half to us on a set that we've run for years. So, and they knew it was coming. He's pointing. So it's one of those things, everybody knows each other well. It's a matter of, hey, who's going to go out and execute the best. Mm-hmm. There's not any secrets. Everybody, it's a matter of execution. Come out and play well, play hard, and then the chips will fall where they do.
Well, Coach, once again, thank you for taking your time to come talk to us. That was Coach Westcott on the post-game coaches interview. We will see you guys next week on Girard Sports Live. Looking at my calendar as we look forward, seems like next Tuesday will be the first of the contests on Girard Sports Live. That'll be at Galena, then at Labette County on Thursday, and then versus Anderson County on Friday. So a packed schedule next week. Can't wait for that to get started. And like Coach Westcott said, round 2 coming up for the CNC. Caleb, any final thoughts for tonight's broadcast?
I think just moving forward, the team will hopefully get a couple more of those easier wins under their belt and get a little bit of that confidence back going into the end of this regular season.
Well, for me, Caleb, Sarah, and the rest of the Varsity Sports production crew, we say good night. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you all next time.
Thanks for watching. From the gridiron to the hardcourt, the pitch to the mat, don't miss any of the action. We're there with live, local sports coverage at VarsitySportsLive.com.